Hello there and welcome to the channel, and in this video I'm going to be talking to you about those 5 mistakes that you will want to avoid when it comes to growing tulip bulbs. We will start off with the simplest mistakes, then they'll get progressively more awkward as we go through the 5. The reason for this is, despite people associating tulips being grown in the Netherlands, they are actually native to the lands in and around Persia. That's part of the world that receives hot, dry summers and freezing temperatures over the winters. So we'll get into the detail of it, and then it'll all make sense. And growing tulips, once you know that, will be very, very easy. Apart from the diseases, and we'll get to that. We'll get to that. Don't worry. So I've managed to pick myself up some bulbs from my lovely friends at Thompson Morgan. More about that later. And first of all, can I just say, when you are choosing bulbs, don't buy undersized bulbs. Buy bulbs that are a decent size. This cultivar here is called Rasta Parrot. If I open this up, that is a pretty decent sized bulb, so I'm really quite pleased with that. So first mistake is to do planting. Firstly, I know it's basic, but some people don't know. This little base here, indented base here, that's the bottom. Pointy bit, that is the top, and that is the way you plant it. You don't plant it on its side, you don't plant it upside down. It will still grow, but that's the right way up. And also, when you are planting these, take a rough measurement of the depth of the bulb, and then you'll be planting that 3 times that in the ground. So there you go. Make sure your planting depth is correct. Make sure that your bulb is right side up, and always try and choose decent sized bulbs. If you pick yourself up some cheap bulbs and they're small, undersized, there's a good chance there won't be enough energy and power inside the bulb to produce the spring's flowers. If that's the case, you've just wasted your money. So there you go. Buy decent sized bulbs. Thank you very much, Thompson and Morgan. Mistake number 2. Now, the last thing you want is for your bulbs to grow in the spring, produce some leaves, and then not produce any flowers. And in the industry, we call that a plant that is blind. So it doesn't have a flower, it's blind. One of the reasons behind this is that it's been planted in the wrong position. And I want to talk to you about light. You can't plant these plants in the shady position. Now, you might want to, because you know it will brighten up a dark, miserable looking position, but it isn't going to do your bulbs or your plants any good whatsoever. They need full sun, as much sun as you can possibly give it. Remember, these are plants that have originated in Persia, where it's bright sunshine every day. So according to the Royal Horticultural Society, you need to provide your tulip bulbs an absolute minimum of 6 hours of direct sunshine, our kid. Now, mistake number 3 is to do with the soils. Now, they don't like heavy soils, they don't like cold soils, they don't like clay soils, they don't like waterlogged soils. Unlike many plants that do like to be kept reliably moist but well drained, they don't even like to be kept reliably moist. They like to be sun-baked hard over the summer period. So you need to plant it in a friable, gritty, well-draining soil that, through at least the summer, is just bone dry. It will love it, and it will thank you for it. What it doesn't like is for its roots to be kept permanently moist, because it will stress the plant, and it can make it prone to picking up fungal infections. And that's the bane of the gardener when it comes to growing tulips, is the amount of diseases that you get nowadays. Now, the problem is that over the centuries, these have been hybridized, cultivated to within an inch of their life. So while the growers are trying to produce these amazing blooms, attention seems to have been taken away from the actual health of the plant and producing plants that have got good disease resistance. Yeah, it's like the roses story all over again from last century, where they just grew them for the blooms. You had to spray them to death with like arsenic and copper and oh well. We learn as we go. Anyway, dry soils, hot positions, sun-baked over the summer. There you go. But equally, they will do fine in the UK because they also need that cold, freezing temperatures over the winter in order to initiate your flowers in the spring. So there you go. I think I've gone on enough about that. As I alluded to earlier, we in the UK, as well as most of Europe, receive their bulbs from the large commercial producers in the Netherlands. Now, there's been a problem. For the last 2 years, there has been an awful lot of rainfall over the summer periods, which is exactly the opposite of the requirements you need to grow these. As we mentioned before about the rain, they like to be sun-baked. Now, this has caused an issue insofar as there are fewer decent-sized bulbs available, and that's put the price of tulip bulbs right up. But my friends at Thompson Morgan can help you with that with breaking news. Welcome to breaking news. Thompson and Morgan have joined forces with us, Walking Talking Gardeners, to give you, our viewers, an incredible 12% discount off of everything they have in their store. That's all their dry goods, their sundries, their seeds, their bulbs, all their plants. Everything means everything. How can they do it? I have no idea, but all you need to do to get that discount is spend over £20 and stick in this promotional code, which will be in the description. Alternatively, you can go direct to our landing page, which I'll also put here, and your code will be added automatically. Again, the link for that will be in the description. How do they do it? How can they possibly give such a large discount? I've no idea. No one else can do it. You have got until the end of this year, that is December 31st, 2025, to take advantage of this offer, and then the offer is gone for the spring. So do it now. Spend all your money buying what you need. Don't buy stuff you don't need. It's only worth doing it if it was stuff you wanted to buy in the first place. Don't forget, now is the time to plant your spring flowering bulbs. Anyway, it's all in the description. It's a fantastic offer. I thoroughly recommend it. Who gives 12%? 5% is like your profit margin on all this garden centre products. 12%. Enough said. And now back to your regular programming. Now, mistake number 4 is to do with the timing of your planting. Now, the producers will be lifting all of their tulip bulbs around about the mid to end of August, package them up, and then send them out. They don't harvest them at any other time. They do it in the hot, dry weather of August. So there's one lifting time. Now, all the bulbs that are in the shops are pretty much going to stay there until they sell. So typically, when you're buying bulbs, the best time of year is to buy them as soon as they become available in September. Now, there is an issue when it comes to planting out your tulip bulbs. Firstly, you need to get them in before the winter because, like I say, they need that cold period to get them to initiate flowering. So they have to be planted in the ground before winter sets in. But there's another issue, and it's a fungal infection called tulip fire, which is Botrytis tulipa, and we've all heard of botrytis before. Pain in the neck, that thing. And because of that, you don't want to plant it too early because the fungal spores are less viable as the weather turns. So you've got a little bit of a window here that you want to try and get it planted in before it's either too early or too late. You certainly don't want tulip fire because your plants will be absolutely ruined when they emerge in the spring. So the current thinking is when it comes to planting tulip bulbs, you want to try and do it mid-November to early December. So bear that in mind. If you haven't got that disease tulip fire around where you're growing, then you can probably just plant it as you normally would do, which is between September and November. But if tulip fire is about, or you're worried about it at all, you're gonna have to push that a bit further along, mid-November, early December. And now, number 5, we're going to talk a bit more about pests and diseases of tulips. Oh, it's heartbreaking the amount of times I see people spending a reasonable amount of money buying these bulbs, because they're not cheap. They're not cheap. And then you plant them up, and then 4 months later, they just turn up like bleh. Complete waste of time, a complete waste of effort, a complete waste of money. Soul destroying. But let's get to it. Mistake number 5. So we've already spoken about tulip fire, fungus. There are also other fungus infections that they can take. Common one is like that green mold that you can find on old bulbs if they've been hanging around in the shop for a bit too long. If it's just a penicillin mold, that could be wiped off. But if you're in doubt and you've got moldy bulbs, don't bother planting them, just throw them away. So the next thing I want to talk to you about is pests. And if you live in a rural, semi-rural, or even a suburban part of the world, your tulip bulbs could draw the attention of creatures such as squirrels, voles, mice, even deer that would love to dig them up and eat them, which is an absolute nightmare. So if this is an issue where you live, then consider putting a metal mesh over the tops of your bulb, so that if you do get creatures trying to dig them out again, then that should prevent that. Also do the same with pot growing tulips. Just put some mesh over the top, secure it so they don't just lift it off. The other thing really is going to be your slugs. They do like to have a go on your tulip bulbs as they emerge in the spring, so it's quite important when you're planting tulips in the autumn, early winter, is to put down some slug management. A very effective method at this time of year will be your slug nematodes, although there is some faff with the keeping them, mixing them, diluting them, applying them, but you can still fall back on slug pellets, which, let's be honest, aren't very good. Beer traps, which work to a certain extent, or just you going out at night with a torch and a pair of gloves, picking them out and disposing them as they were. And of course, come the spring, start it all again. So there you go. Those are my 5 mistakes to avoid when it comes to growing tulip bulbs. And if you've got any other great tips, any other great advice, mistakes that you shouldn't be making, then put that in the comment section. We would love to hear from you. Thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next video. Goodbye. Stop following me. Stop. Right, now, just before you go, if you want to see more content, more behind the scenes stuff, and images that I've taken of some weird freaky plants over the years, then you're in luck, because we've created an Instagram page. So you can find the link in our description. You can find the link on our main page, and if I'm clever enough, I might be able to get a link somewhere up there. Anyway, thank you for watching, and if you want to see more YouTube stuff, then check out this video here. That's quite a good one. And if it doesn't float your boat, then another one right there. And enjoy these while I've still got the strength, imagination and aptitude to make them. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.